Good morning, everybody. Today is March 1st, 2025. It's 8:36 a.m. Central Standard Time. Um, my name is Pal. I'm 30 years old. I live in South Texas, and I would consider myself a lot of things, but I like to think of myself as a, a more of a left-leaning socialist kind of individual who wants everyone in this world to be cared for in a good and equitable way. That word, equitable. Um, Adam Conover said that no one is coming to save us and that we must save ourselves. So, this is why I'm finally doing this. I've had it on my mind for a long time. I have all kinds of video ideas written down for YouTube. I've even written a couple scripts for some things serious, some things non-serious. Who knows, what that might be like. But for now, I just wanted to start here. Start with something, because if not now, then when. This will probably be accompanied by me, I don't know, probably drawing something, honestly. It's the only other thing I've got that I know I can do is talking and drawing. It's all I've ever done. So you'll probably be seeing a little bit of that. It might even be the thumbnail for this video. It might not be. I'm not entirely sure yet. If it sounds off the cuff, it's because it is. I have a brief outline for what I'm thinking and feeling, but otherwise everything is just kind of coming from within, so to say. So I don't know what this will look like. I don't know if I'll ever do this again. I don't know what any of this means. I just know that I have to say something somehow to someone somewhere, even just one person. If I say hello to one person and share with them something they didn't know before, then that is definitely not a bad thing. That is definitely a good thing. And I'd just like to start doing that. I withheld my labor from my very large employer yesterday, and it really made me realize how much I won't name the company for the sake of it all, but it makes me realize how strongly I feel like I'm working for a supervillain now who is not interested in my well-being in any way beyond what they are legally liable for, or what they must do according to the federal government, which is rapidly changing. So this is my attempt to save myself. Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening, clicking, doing the thing. I appreciate it, especially in this with this YouTube algorithm recommending just all kinds of random things out of the blue. I appreciate you taking the time. As this has been an interesting new world, and we all must be very brave. I'll just kind of roll into just a few things that I'm thinking about. I intend to kind of outline more carefully, like news and things and whatever thoughts in the future. But for now, just kind of the things, of course, I think this may be on a lot of people's minds is Zelensky being kicked out of the White House and Russian state media being allowed in instead of literally anybody else. Like it was AP who was not allowed in, something or the other. And it's not about whether or not it was AP. AP is whatever. It's the Russian state media thing. And the fact that they're so clearly and carefully controlling how this is refracted upon Russia. Like the deep challenging of Zelensky, the hostility, the way that they told him to leave, the critique for for pitching for the opposition. Like, I'm sorry, is Zelensky supposed to be a Republican? Like, this is a totally different, and this is a different world, and he wants him to be completely subservient, while he remains completely subservient to Putin, right down to letting Russian state media back in to document really anything. Which there's a reason why we told them to get lost, and it's because they're actively propelling the fake news ecosystem into the stratosphere and making it giving it the density of a large sun. And it's really scary. And I had a thought when I heard that state media was allowed back in to the press briefings, and I was like, wow, I wonder how prepared Russia Today is getting for an influx of new users, right? Because there was just Russia Today was pretty much forced out of the political sphere. They pretty much waxed their Western presence for the most part a few years ago. There was a lot that went on with that. That would be a great separate subject to address. But they've been just kind of in their own little... I don't like describing things as schizophrenic, but I can only describe it as that, like so fringed in two different, very specific directions, both servicing directly the Russian government because it's state media, so of course, but they're preparing for an influx of people who believe a very specific thing, specifically whatever Donald Trump wants them to believe, including that Russia is totally cool and didn't do anything wrong, essentially. And there's some headlines that I thought were interesting on RT. I'm gonna cherry pick a few of them because some of them are very mired in stuff and in context don't make a whole lot of sense. Some of them in context make a great amount of sense. You're welcome to go to RT.com yourself. It's not going to kill you. It'll just feel weird. You're welcome to go check and see this for yourself. That's totally fine. Musk tips Vance to become U.S. president. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Zelensky should apologize for fiasco with Trump, according to Rubio. There's a couple headlines about him overreacting. Did Zelensky call Vance a bitch? Which it's like, no. But, it's supposed to put it in your mind that he may have not been appropriate and Trump was doing everything right and nothing wrong happened there. Hungary to ban LGBTQ parades. It is not painted as a bad thing. It is painted as a just decision by the Hungarian government. That's cool. Let's see. Soros is trying to derail Trump's plans. Musk. That's a cool one. Nothing sacred for Kiev, according to the Kremlin. That's cool. That sounds like it's going to set up something really neat. Where is my favorite, though? Let's see, because there's a lot. Canada should seek nuclear protection against the U.S., which, maybe. No, I don't know. I think we're pretty impotent on the idea of taking Canada. I think that is just something to make the base feel good. But I don't know. Russia seems to want people to think that we really could. South Africa. Okay. North Korea tests strategic missiles, and they have some really lovely up-close pictures of that. Like, wow, you guys were really right there, weren't you? And here's my favorite. Majority of U.S. Republicans hostile to Zelensky, a poll. Now, it really does feel like the stream of news here is again set up to practically welcome someone with open arms that has like a particular disposition already, and they're getting ready. They're getting ready to accept like a large body of Republicans, people from the MAGA cult, who are going to be probably using their service looking to, air quotes, diversify their news feed with something that they think of as trustworthy. And the reason I am so worried about this is because I must confess that I was once brainwashed by Russia Today all the way back in 2015, 2016, during probably the most critical time that anybody could be brainwashed by Russia Today. I thought I was fighting American imperialism by only consuming Russian state media, and it was very stupid. I was very dumb. You can call me stupid if you want. I deserve it, right? But I think the same thing is getting ready to happen, but in a very different way. Because Putin and Musk are in the driver's seat now. And I am really worried that Russia Today will be able to galvanize a large group of MAGA voters into almost anything that they could think of, really. So whether it's, gathering a 10,000 man Gestapo in collaboration with Blackwater, whether it's, I don't know, looking for the wokeism because they're working with George Soros and the trans people are evil or whatever, because hey, that's stuff you can't talk about in Russia because queer people bad. My imagination isn't so vivid as to be able to future sight this, but I'm worried. I am extremely concerned that we're just going to permanently lose some people to the Russian state media ecosystem because it's coming back with a vengeance. Watch out for your family members, especially older ones. Be ready to fact check them. Be ready to talk to them about all kinds of stuff. Don't let them fall in, please. I know it's not anyone's responsibility or obligation to protect anyone from misinformation and disinformation. That's a really, really hard thing to do. But I need you to try. I really need you to try. Because it's if no one's coming to save us, then we must save ourselves and we must save each other. And this is just one of the ways we can, hello Barbie. I have a cat. This is one of the ways that we can save each other. And that's just to maintain just the ability to believe things that are true. We have to do this. We can't, living in a world where lies and truth have the same weight is literally ruining everything. And Barbie, you're jiggling the table while I'm recording. That's not very nice. That being said, it's just having a voice and being honest, and just no matter how small it is just, like I said, the only thing I can do. It's important. Don't stop calling it like you see it. It is going to get so much harder to call it like you see it, to say that things are wrong. People will try to convince you that it was right and it was always this way, like measles. I had to find out about the measles death in my state because a YouTuber posted about it. I didn't see any news. I didn't see any headlines, and I'm I don't addicted to the news, but it's I read a lot of news. I didn't see anything. I just shout out to Just a Lazy Gamer in the true crime space. He's also doing some really great political reporting, and he first measles death in 10 years or something like that here, and it was a baby. It was a child that was unvaccinated, and it's just this is happening. We're doing this. Sorry, I don't mean for such a long pause. I might even clip that. I might even clip that out. Maybe not. But it's just, we're going to a very dangerous place where it is really easy to get lost in the flood zone. They're flooding the zone on purpose. Steve Bannon said it himself. We got to flood the zone. Give them 10 things when you know they can only hold 1 or 2. And they'll be too busy dealing with that 1 or 2 things that you gave them, and we'll go and do the other 8 or 9 things that we need to do. We are literally drowning in the flood zone, and we just gotta we have to keep talking to each other and sharing what we know, and not assuming that somebody knows something because whatever. And I'm just really, really grateful for how the YouTube algorithm has been behaving with elevating underrepresented voices. Feels weird to praise Google for anything right now after changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, but I will give YouTube credit where credit is due because it's been something that's really made a huge difference. for me personally, and I know it's making a lot of like a huge difference for other people right now, to be shown things that they would not normally see, to hear things that they would not normally hear. It's happening in the opposite way too, where like bubbles are developing, and super bubbles of like just giant ecosystems that seem insurmountably huge, that they seem like universes in themselves. And it's sometimes I worry about being stuck in the same thing, and it is scary. It is scary, but we must, as long as we focus on being honest and truthful. That sounds so cliche, but as long as we focus on being honest and truthful, I think we'll all be able to collectively see through something that doesn't feel right, because sometimes we don't know because there's too much information in the flood zone. But when it doesn't feel quite right, we got to call it like we see it, and we got to say why. It's us against Elon Musk's giga ego, the richest man in the world, son of a African emerald mine share owner. Some people think that makes like a difference somehow, and it's like, dude, no, that was an apartheid era emerald mine. You had slaves, dog. That doesn't make a difference. We're up against a dude from that background, brainwashed by 4chan into meme radicalism. The radicalism of Schadenfreude being your only goal. And I think that is maybe one of the scariest things that I can think of in a world where $1,000 can make or break whether or not someone will die. We have the world's richest man telling us to go wallow in the mud with our fellow pigs while he role plays his own child on the website he purchased for billions of dollars and flirts with adult women. Check out the he had a lawsuit with somebody and they had to disclose a bunch of stuff. All these, you know what, actually, give me just a moment. Elon Musk tweets as a baby. Will you tell me, Google? Nope. Elon Musk confirms he used burner account on X to roleplay as toddler son via HuffPost, April 8th, 2024. So that's who we are up against, and this came about as a result of a defamation lawsuit against a Jewish dude who he called a Nazi. This is like, if we're not already buckled up, this is gonna get probably so much worse before it gets any kind of better. This is the new Gilded Age. This is maybe even something that we've never really seen before, and people are remarking on how unique Trump and Musk's relationship is. Literally the richest dude in the world following around one of the most powerful men, if not the most powerful man in the world, and they're just kind of telling each other what to do. just like, I keep feeling like I keep dimension slipping into an alternate dimension that keeps just getting into like a worse and worse version of someone else's hell. And it's just I don't know what to do except to make words with my mouth, tell an empty seat that may or may not have an audience member in it in the future how I feel, and just at least get it off my chest and tell someone that, my God, you better buckle up. It's moving way too fast, and it's on purpose, and you're not crazy for being disengaged with the system. It's what they want. But we must hold on to these rails, and maybe you can hold on with me. We'll hold on to each other. No, I'm just kidding. But just, if you for some reason enjoyed listening to this and just having this fun little parasocial experience, I'm probably going to try to do this more often, whether it's podcast form, whether it's a more formal video. Again, it may be an important subject. It may not be anything important. It may just be me sitting around talking about whatever I observed in today's news cycle. It may just end up being whatever I have time for. Who knows? But I've been meaning to do this, and I'm glad to be bursting that bubble now, and I just hope that we can all make it out of this alive. I know some people won't. We lost a lot of people during Trump's first presidency, so I hope we can all make it out. And I'll talk to you later. Be safe out there.